It is a Google product.
I mean, yeah, like YouTube is like the slowest thing ever. I mean, it's like watching paint dry or the grass grow.
It is a Google product.
There it is.
Yep, it is a Google product. But anyway, hey guys, we're live. Welcome to our I know words. No, I don't. I'm tired.
All right.
Welcome to
Show's
our-
over. We're going to bed.
All this time to practice, and he messed it up.
I know, right? Welcome to another Plasticast. I'm here, your host Plasticon. I'm joined by Megamus
What up?
and Sideburn. And we had to send Hoist on a rescue to go get Don because apparently he has a flat tire. So we'll see how that works if he shows up later.
That's cool.
Riding around with Headmaster RC, you'd think he wouldn't have his problems,
You would think.
Yeah, I know, right? But anyway,
Hey, it worked.
Hey, it does work. Cool.
My video cut out.
Yeah, so we had a lot of toy reveals like this week. It's been crazy.
A little show called Wonder Festival was happening. They were revealing everything.
And so much I couldn't keep up with it because I've been so busy all week. But
Yeah.
Sideburn knows about a lot of the what is it, like a bunch of model kit stuff they did?
Goodness.
Yeah, and I know Megamus, you said you were at a toy show this weekend, right?
I was selling blockies.
Them blockies. Did you buy any?
I was gifted some.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What were you gifted?
How much over here? Here. I don't know what I do with them. Oh, yeah. So the new wave Defender 4 is out.
Ah.
I grabbed out of that wave. For obvious reasons, I couldn't leave him behind.
Oh. Gotta love
Couldn't leave him behind. Got to have my cassettes.
Yep.
Got to have my cassettes. So there's one.
I was about to start. I was about to start a war.
Well, we all know who he is.
That's it, guys. Go ahead, start the war in the comments. Please just start that war.
We all know who he is. And
Cassette Dude 1 and Cassette Dude 2. That's who they are.
And then, of course, I had to get this. This is the main one I wanted.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Bro.
Because, we're going to have another mini.
You have a mini
Brutus.
combiner.
Dude,
See, there's his leg.
I'm telling you. Did it just come with him? It didn't come with like a foot piece, did it?
Nope. If you look, that peg's right there. That's why when they showed the pictures just like this, I was like, that's a combiner. 100%. Pops in there. They put a new section on him. Boom. Foot.
Have you tried to see if it will plug into Devastator?
No, I haven't messed with him yet. But then there's a rumor going around that starting in this set, that all the Dinobots, they're going to do a combiner.
Yeah, I heard
so
that.
I just had to get Grimlock.
He's so great.
Had to get little Grimlock.
He's so squat. He kind of reminds me of the Pretender one. The little Pretender.
He's a little chunky monkey. He's chunky. And let's see. I got that. Oh, it was the Great Ohio Toy Show is what I went to.
Huh.
And oh my gosh, it's just nonstop selling blockies. I learned a lot about like one of the things I didn't know was when you buy the box sets, in the box set you'll get one of each of them. And then if you get a chase, then you don't get the standard one, or vice versa. But what I didn't know is they came with cards in the box.
Wow.
And there's like 2 different ones for each box.
Interesting.
So these are randomly in there also, which I didn't know about. So still trying to track some of those down.
Sounds like a nightmare for completions.
That is. And
that's like those sticker cards that came in all the what was it, Kingdom? And where it was the sticker was on the front of a card, and not only could there be a combination of the front sticker with a different card back, I pity anyone who actually tried to collect any of those or all of those.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
This is going to be kind of tough because I also don't know how you can even trade with them or what, unless you went online to like Facebook groups and stuff like that, because I don't see any people just selling the cards. So those are just going to be random things. I picked up one thing for myself, which I had the guy I was set up with laugh at me, and everyone else laugh at me, but there's a reason for it. But see if anyone can figure out. I'll turn it this way first, make it easy. Well, I'll start with a hard one first. Okay, these all came. It's a set of 3. See if you can figure out what this is.
The black box.
Yeah, it's a black box.
It's a black
I'm not going to show the front yet. Okay, this has a crack in it, but still. Here's another back of it.
Interesting.
Okay, it's going to get a lot easier.
Oh, jeez. He's done the thing. He's done the thing, guys. His Trekkie's coming off now. You got a communicator, dude.
Yeah, but
that's sick. I mean, that's so cool.
It's a little bitty one. Yeah, it came with the little tricorder.
Nice.
And if anyone doesn't know, back in the 70s, they had these little round discs. Let's see if I can get it to work. It sticks from sides. And it'll shoot them out.
Yeah.
And so what this was is there was a little bitty belt, plastic belt, and these had little pockets. Just stick them in. And it even opens.
Oh, that's so cool.
These are from the 70s. This is like 77 or 78 anyway.
Wow.
The reason I got it is I had this when I was a kid. I literally had this set as a kid. And then I'm digging through bins and I find this bag of this and I was like, oh my gosh. So I walk up to the guy and I said, yeah, how much you want for it? He's like, $5.
What?
Sold.
That's awesome.
Sold.
That's so cool.
The main reason I got it was this. This thing's just 2.
Yeah.
And like I have the normal size. So there's just normal.
Is that the one you can link with your phone? Oh.
No, I have that one too.
Oh,
it's back here.
The one
it's
you
dead.
Can actually use as an actual phone. You basically can call.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yep.
See, it's basically the same size as the ones you got from Playmates, but this one's made of metal, and it'll start my phone up and everything. But yeah, it connects to your phone. It's a Bluetooth. It's got all the functions and everything. That was cool.
Dude, I'd be using that all the time.
This thing is awesome. I'm sorry. I know it's geeky, but I mean, 1970s Star Trek memorabilia, $5.
That's so cool.
In a bin with like toys and puzzles, and that's why you got to dig. By the way, that's why you got to dig.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our big
something special about things from your childhood. Yeah, I have like when I saw these come out, the miniature, the like world's smallest.
Oh, jeez.
I had to get one of these.
Oh, I remember those.
I remember those as keychains.
Yeah.
Little keychain.
I remember.
But I remember running around with this little thing. He was so cool.
Funny. One of the things,
and then just to finish up, the only other thing that I bought this week, I got, what is it? Not Skydive, Fireflight. I picked him up. He's already connected to Superion.
Nice.
And then,
oh yeah, I actually had my hands on that. A buddy of mine let me borrow those, and I did like a full unboxing. He's actually pretty cool. I like how he transforms. He's kind of interesting.
He is.
I always love
my
the
debate is right now they have that Destruction of Doom or whatever it is 2-pack that was from earlier this year that has the other two, and I missed it. And now I'm debating on if I want to grab them. That way I'll have the whole set.
You kind of should if you have half of it.
Well, what's the other one? See, this one's Venom. What's the kickback?
Oh, that's a Ransack.
I already have him, which is like...
So you need Chop Shop and Barrage.
And they came in a 2-pack. And I can find them on eBay fairly cheap. I thought about it just to get the whole set. But yeah, that's what I picked up. You know, I went to the Great Ohio Toy Show has like 10 buildings, 10 big barns, just thousands and thousands of, how about hundreds and hundreds of dealers? There's a lot. It took me an hour and a half just to walk all of them.
Wow.
And then I was able to pick that up.
That's
awesome. I mean, there was a whole bunch of great stuff. I mean, some of the prices were, like there was one dude that had the Skydive. I've been looking for $55.
Jeez.
And I'm like, I can't do it. And we're over here selling, blockies at $4.
Right.
And cases at like $40 or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I mean, it's incredible. The only other thing that I got, and we had ran out, so he's going to bring one over, is I did go ahead and get the blocky, the big, tall, brand new Soundwave. And if you're on the fence about getting it, think about this. It's a Soundwave about this tall. Comes with 4 cassettes, and it's $40.
It's about masterpiece size, isn't it? Maybe a little shorter.
Yeah, he comes up to be about the size of like a G1 Prime.
Okay.
Like a G1 size Prime. So that's what my biggest problem with blockies was trying to figure out. All right, what's a Defender? What's a Galaxy? What is this? There's size classes. So when you get, the Defender is this big, and then like the Galaxy will be like, this is Yellow Park, but be closer to this size.
Yeah.
See the difference. And then they have these bigger ones that they've done Prime. They did Prime, they did Megatron, and they did Soundwave early this month, and then they just released, and we just ran out of them. No, we have a few left. The Prime 1 in the big size.
Yeah.
So they're putting some out a little at a time, different ones. And then all the other stuff that Blocky is doing is just crazy. Just crazy with all the new merchandise and all that. But they really do think about, in my opinion, the collector market. And they really kind of looked at the Pokemon, where you got to catch them all, and you got to, the blind box, the different cards and all that. Just really, really collector oriented. And it's kind of cool. And I mean, don't get me wrong, not every one of them they did was knocked it out of the park. I mean, some of the ones in the sets and everything I thought were really bad, just design wise, just stupid. But they were still cool figures. I mean, if you like it, great. Just like that new Prime, I didn't care for Prime 1, so I don't care for it, but it looks good if that's what you want, So, but anyway, that's my spiel on that. So, got a little bit of fun stuff, got in for free, got some food, got to walk around, got to talk to a lot of people, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a lot of fun, dude. That sounds like it's a pretty awesome little show.
Oh, it's a big show. I mean,
I
that,
like
that
little
is.
shows.
I'm telling you, they do it twice a year, I believe, and they sell out every year. If I had to guess, there was probably 4,000 or 5,000 people, easy.
I can't remember the name of the show, but there is one that happens. It's kind of in the outskirts of St. Louis. It happens, I think, like once a month. They do that. I think it's called That Toy Guy Show or something like that. And I know Pixel Dan went there a couple times and sold stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think he was at this show too.
yeah.
And then the guy that I'm not going to get into YouTube famous people because I'm just not into it. But evidently, one of the guys that puts on a show in Indiana was there, and everyone's going goo. I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, I heard it because it's kind of like a Midwest kind of thing. I mean, you don't really get a lot over this area, so I thought it was kind of cool that that's a show they have that they put on monthly, which is interesting. Yeah, lets people still get their itch, when they need it.
Well, this show is just everything. The vintage 12-inch Joes, like I said, you saw what I found, 70s toys, bottle cap collections. I mean, you name it. Baseball cards. If someone thinks that they might be collecting it, it was probably there.
That's cool.
I mean, there was just everything. And but the problem is that there's like 10 barns, and it's not theme oriented, so you got to kind of go through all of them because you might miss something. And of course, the big thing was Star Wars. Everyone had Star Wars. Oh my God, Star Wars! And I mean, like I saw several prototypes from the 70s Star Wars. I mean, just you have no idea what to find there. So, really good show, and I had a lot of fun.
That's pretty awesome, man. Well, I have to check that one out sometime. But if you said it's Ohio Toy, what's it called again?
It's the Great Ohio Toy Show, and then it's called the Xenia Toy Show because it's in Xenia, Ohio. But if you go on like Facebook, it's Great Ohio.
That's awesome.
Really had a lot of fun.
It looks like Hoist got Dawn to us safely. I think he.
Well, I picked up a gigantic screw in my tire. Had to call State Farm Roadside because it was too late for me to try to do it myself. And with my knees, I was never getting back up. So I went ahead, because it's part of my policy, so I went ahead and called them. Now I just have to get the replacement tire is a full-size spare that has no TPMS monitor. So I'm going to have to get the other tire fixed. Hopefully they won't try to sell me a whole new tire, and then yeah. How are y'all?
We are doing good, I think. So far.
We're here.
Yep. Uh-oh. Looks like we got some sea spray.
I'm still looking for that one.
Mine shipped from Walmart last week. I had it for RFC on Wednesday. Mine shipped out Wednesday. I mean Monday of last week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that one. I don't know if there's anything new out there that I'm looking for at this point.
Well, I think that's part of our topic for tonight is some of the reveals, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are we doing something else?
No, we're talking about reveals, stuff like that. Yeah, with the two, the mini bots. The Outback.
Yeah, Outback looks incredible. According to JT Prime, there's no release for a non-retro card version right now that he knows of. And we all know JT Prime is usually very, very accurate about his information. So there's that. Wheelie, I don't know. Wheelie is a very uncanny valley. It's not the Legends toy. It's not the one we got. It's not the core
No.
class. It's a brand new one.
Which surprises me.
Yeah,
I mean, all of them have been new molds, have they not?
Yeah. Well, I mean the Sea Spray is new, but the reason we got the Sea Spray is look at the color layout. I mean, this is basically Cosmos all over again that needed like three colors. I mean, that's how come we got the Cosmos is colors were so easy to do in a limited number of molds and parts. Outback is just going to be a remold recolor of Brawn, which is Brawn and Gears are probably two of the strongest figures. I wanted Sea Spray to be my new number one, but for me, his feet are a lot like that core class wheelie that when you squeeze him together at the front, he kind of just buckles.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that problem with this one. So he's one of my favorite characters, but this did not knock Gears and Brawn off of their mini bot pedestal. But I think Outback looks great. The wheelie, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'll probably get at least one just to keep on card, but I'll probably get two to have one to open as well. I've been doing that. I only got like one of the bumblebees because we have that mold so many times over in various bits and pieces. So it's like
Too many.
Yeah, I've got one. I'm good. It's like I'm getting ready for that toy show at the end of the month, and I found my Netflix Bumblebee, and it's like I don't know how
Sell
to.
it.
Yeah, it's like I want to, but it's like, do I have this exact version as Bumblebee, or is it somebody else? I can't keep track. I have no idea how many times that mold has been used and for who at this point. So, but what else? What else we talking about tonight?
Well, we were just talking about blockies. I know you're not much into the model kit stuff because that was a huge reveal, insane thing that was going on with all these reveals, with all these different model brands.
And all these, I mean, I only have two. I have three blockies. I picked up some Walmarts are apparently clearancing the blockies that they just put out a couple of months ago. And I got the classic class Optimus, which I think is Rise of the Beast. I'm not sure. It was $5 on clearance. Now I picked this up last BotCon Baltimore from Rick Alvarez. We all know Rick. And at the time, this was the only thing I wanted. It was Smokescreen because I've always been a Smokescreen fan. The Gambler is probably one of my favorite episodes of G1. I think he's the best looking of the Dotson brothers just because of his color layouts and everything. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it's like the Devastator. I'm kind of tempted by now that you can get the combining kit a lot more a lot easier now than you used to. But I'll be honest, after this guy, I'm kind of devastated out, to be honest.
That's understandable. I don't
Trust
know.
me,
and I am selling my other set of Constructicons or try to at the show. I'll discombobulate him, have him as the Constructicons, and keep my Combiner Wars one as the combined version. And I think I'll just try to sell my other set because I'm just whelmed. It's like I said, it's the torso that just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I've heard a few other people complain, or at least state that they had to get it just right, or else it was just kind of a mess.
I don't know.
Yes,
I'm about the worst with toys, and mine was actually really good.
I just have an extraordinarily difficult time getting most everything on hook and long haul to connect up. I've
Mhm.
got them held together by like the 2 or 3 main pegs in the center, and everything else is just unconnected because they won't stay connected. But the blockies, I've seen, like, we're getting Star Wars. They've announced Transformers. They've announced it's several different franchises. They've just gone.
I think they announced something like 20 or so franchises like recently. I know I saw them. They're doing Evangelion stuff. They're doing Godzilla. They're doing Ultraman. They're doing Naruto. They're doing Marvel. They're
Well, Ultraman they've already done. They've been doing that.
they've been doing
That
Ultraman
came
for
out
a while,
first.
but
I could
And
see
then,
them expanding on it though, for the creatures.
they're doing it. Well, they're doing the bigger classes too, because the Blackies Ultraman stuff was like a lot of the little. It almost looked like
they're bigger than the
Defender.
Defender. They're bigger than the Defender set, but I guess they'd be close to the size, which would be like, you know, maybe a little bit about the same size as a GI Joe figure or something like that.
Well, I'm looking
They're doing
at
so many different of them; it's ridiculous.
Oh, Jurassic Park. I mean, they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm on their main page right now, just for clarity. And just for Transformers, they have Galaxy, Classic, Defender, Action, Shining, Exclusive. They have Sesame Street, Saint
Yeah, we had
Seiya, which is two versions of 2 different levels of Saint Seiya. The god awful minions that should be shot into the sun. I hate
I mean, they're
minions.
the shape of a pill. Why not?
I mean, I hate the minions almost as much as I hate the Snuggle Bear. Evangelion, and this is just, what I'm seeing on the main page. The thing is, I haven't actually, I bought this assembled from Rick, so I haven't actually put one together. I have the RC, the Bumblebee movie RC.
Yeah.
I don't know about anyone else, but I've always been very hesitant to buy models. I have several models I want to put together. I just need to get brave enough to try it because I'm always afraid of not having the patience or not having the.
Let me ask you this much. Okay, let me tell you this much. Okay, Defenders are super super easy, but even like the Galaxy, the other night we had the brand new box that came out, and we're like, we need to open these for display, and he throws one to me and he says, all right, just put this together. And I'd never put one together before. And I'm like, all right. And I start doing this. And I'm like, well, I don't have my glasses. So literally I'm like, trying to, and so I'm going to tell you, for someone who was visually challenged, I put them together no problem.
But you still have to snap them off sprues,
easy.
Right?
Huh?
You still got to cut them off sprues, right?
No.
They just pop off.
No, the only thing that's on the sprues is there's 2 sets of hands.
Okay.
And that way you can pop the ones one off and they still stay on there. Everything else, it comes in a baggie and it's just plug in. Yeah. There's no sprues or nothing.
For me, it's always been because I have a few, I've bought some of the Flame Toys stuff. I have like 2 of them, 3 of them to put together at this point, but
I was not a fan of those. I have 3 of them and they were very difficult. You had to do some shading.
Flame Toys or Yellow Park?
No,
Flame Toys. So I have.
I didn't realize they didn't do kits.
Yeah, kits is there.
I remember now. Very long day.
They because I built like their IDW Optimus, I built their Starscream, and then I've built the. Did I? No. Yeah, I've built those 2. And then I have Windblade and RC that I haven't built.
Flames Toys did the Windblade that was different.
Very, very anime.
Yeah, it's like I think
it targeted an audience and it did it well.
Well, the thing is, I think I would have done I would have done a more comic accurate Windblade first, so it would match the rest of the characters they're doing, and then do the anime version later.
Toy Toys is kind of all over the place with their style.
Yeah, it's just I
It's
think
really
they created controversy where they didn't need to. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that in a Japanese market, it's a lot more kosher than and the.
No, I mean, I don't have a
Western
problem
market.
with it from what it represents. It's just if you've done all this other IDW stuff that looks like the IDW stuff, and then you do this, which doesn't look like the IDW stuff, it just makes you like, are you trying to generate controversy to generate interest, or
Probably.
are you tone deaf?
I bet you anything those were their two most successful kits.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in our fandom, we usually don't get a lot of that skewed stuff.
You guys want to talk about Kiss players?
No. I'm saying overall. I'm saying compared to other franchises,
yeah,
we don't get a lot of official stuff that's more skewed to the anime style. I mean, we have the Windblade, we had Kiss players. The toys were great. It's just the fiction around it was a little weird. We had that one figure of Tai, with Fire Convoy, and
I have that figure.
Yeah, so there's that. But I mean,
actually from show.
I think all this blocky stuff looks great. It's just I don't need another black hole to be swallowed up by and have all these. What I like the Dinobots in robot mode, sure. But I don't feel like buying cases and splitting them up and doing all that, and buying them pre-assembled is adding double the price to them, give or take.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like I said, that's why they're cheap. So like,
do the larger blocky classes have stickers and stuff, or are they pre-tampoed?
No, they're all pre-done. These are.
I hate tamper. I hate stickers.
$4 to $6.
Yeah,
they're $4 to $6, and then the bigger ones are less than 10. I mean, yeah, you got to put them together, but guess what? They weren't $25.
It doesn't take very long to put them together either.
And I can put these Defenders together in probably 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's because I can't see very well. I'm sure you could put them together a lot quicker. And then the other thing I noticed is there's groups on there that do customs now, and they do custom figures and all that. There's just so much, and it's its own little community.
Yeah.
And I think other brands have done these, these somewhat Build-A-Figures and all that, and they've done really well. So, and from what I remember hearing in Japan, that like, Bandai kits and everything sold really, really well. So it made sense. And it is catching on. It's just it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
If you buy a case and you get all your figures, you're done. If you only want one, you got a 1 in 12 of getting the right one.
I think the barrier of entry for me is there's so many size classes
that bugs me.
And the stuff doesn't seem to match up to what you like. Classic class has movie stuff in it, and it's like that's not classic to me. I don't know. I would probably understand it better if I took some time and try to research it. But just on a general, I have 7 classes, and it's just very daunting to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, I can
it's all over the place.
I mean, the reason I even have one is because a friend of mine gave me one, and it's not even the small ones. Like, I like the tiniest ones because I had a chance to play with them, but they're just, to me, if I was going to collect them, that would be the size class because the combiners are in that class and everything like that. That's what I would go with.
Blocky's also coming out with that vehicle line too. There's the Transformer, the purely vehicle line.
That which is gnarly. Good grief, that was cool. I'm like, that would be neat for people to just.
And some of the series come with just vehicles only.
Yeah, the small
some
ones
of
do.
the figures in there are just vehicles, which take like 10 seconds to put together.
Yeah.
They're super simple.
That's how you
Yeah,
build
maybe
guns
I, maybe if something will come out and in the future for I think if it did something Beast Wars, I'd probably buy it and try it out. Right. I skipped the Rise of the Beast stuff, but
what is that? The Galaxy class and like the Shining ones. I think it's called Shining. The only difference is price point because they have a light up feature, but they're essentially the same size. So those would kind of pair together as far as being cohesive. But I understand. I also didn't understand why they were doing at least 3 different size classes for Transformers. Your small Defenders, your medium size Galaxy, and then the big ones. It's price points. They do the same thing with model kits. It's just price points.
Yeah. I mean, I think for someone that has not a lot of room, or the transformation is not the important thing, the character representation is. I think these. Well, I mean, I think you mentioned this earlier in our group thread. The rise of all these model kits over the past 3 to 4 years. There's been some before that, but look at Bandai. Look at all of the Power Ranger model kits with the Shogun Modeling Project, the SMPs. There's Brave stuff. There's tons of Sentai stuff. Melvar on RFC has Sentai versions of our Power Ranger Zords that are insane on what they do, and they're model kits, and they're not cheap. But if you went to go buy, say, a brand new Dragon Zord versus the model kit Dragon Zord, there's a size difference, of course. You're still getting a pretty fully functioning Dragon Zord for half the price of what finding a DX Dragon Zord is or so. And it's like I had the Shogun Megazords were some of my favorite Megazords. But I sold the set because after watching some videos and stuff, my confidence was not enough to justify an $85 set of figures. So I sold them a little bit for just a little bit more than what I paid for, and I've got my DX one from back in the day, and I'm good. Having a superposable one would be nice, but not at my confidence level somewhere down around my ankles.
Well, that's completely understandable. I know it's very intimidating because, I mean, us growing up, we probably all played with model or built model kits and had dabbled with having to put them together. Even snap type ones sometimes were pretty intimidating, And
I just gave up.
It's just crazy now. I just think it's.
I mean,
go ahead.
Sorry. The quality of these model kits and the posability is really insane when you look at how. I mean, Gundam is, of course, the grandfather of model kits. Obviously, I mean, it's been going for 40 plus years and more. And if you go to anywhere that sells Gundam, you just have wall after wall after wall, and so many ranges, and so just it's overwhelming. That's why I never did it. It was just I have one Gundam model kit. It's Tryon 3 because Tryon 3.
Yeah.
But I'm just amazed at the detail. I mean, the blockies are definitely. I want to call a parallel that makes sense to me, but it may offend some people. I remember Superhero Squad. Marvel Superhero Squad. That's kind of the vibe that I get from the current, like this level blockies. It's not quite G1, but its own style of G1.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, but the next step up on those are the more, I think the more targeted towards being in the same section as some of the like high grade or model kits from Gunpla.
Yeah. More
'cause-
like
yeah.
Smokescreen would look like Smokescreen. More of the animation look versus this
kind of a squat, super deformed almost.
Yeah.
See, this doesn't bother me with these proportions. But if it was like super deformed, I do not like super deformed format. I've never liked it. Super deformed is almost like Funko, the way some Funkos look to me. It's just it's not an aesthetic I like. I know people that
I agree.
Yeah, I know people that love SD Gundam.
Mhm.
If you do, that's awesome. But it's just so I think I would like these if they looked more proportionate. But
Yeah, I mean, I look at the small ones like this one, and I get that vibe. To me, they're a little like super deformed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the bigger class looks like that. All right, that looks more to scale.
Right.
This is the same. This is the Galaxy, just like what he has.
Yeah.
So it's more to scale. He's
Right.
actually hunched over. He's a little
Mhm.
bigger than that, but yeah.
Of course.
So it's just what you're interested in. Just like
Yeah, to me
Don
that
said.
scale class comes across to me like a little cartoony, not super formed, just maybe a little cartoony. And then of course, like I said, the step up class is the one.
To someone, if you say super deformed, they kind of understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, the small ones for sure.
I mean, because you look at Grimlock, and he to me, he's kind of cartoon accurate, just floaty, but is that what you like your Transformer toy? Is that what he looks like? No, he looks better.
But now we're about to have. So because for Transformers, the model kit market kind of really kicked off with Flame Toys, and for whatever it's worth, I feel like Flame Toys hasn't been super highly successful with their model kits. They're still around, but they're a pain in the ass, and they're not releasing in the volume they used to, not by any means.
No.
They seem to be going more towards they had the pre-assembled line, like they had the action line, the Curai action line, which is basically just their model kit assembled. I have the Lyle Convoy and I have the Primal from that line. But now we seem to have coming out, I think mostly out of China. We have like 3 new model kit companies. We have Blocky. Blocky is doing, they're doing more accurate character depictions. Like they announced a whole range of movie stuff going back to like the first Transformers movie. The first live action movie.
Mm-hmm.
They announced, they showed a lot of stuff there, and then we have another company called Aldi, which is not spelt like the store, but it definitely
I have found
I
Transformers
think
at Aldi before.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do that sometimes. You go check their aisle. It's like the misfit aisle where there's just a bunch of stuff that doesn't seem like it should belong in an Aldi.
Well, that's where the Titan. Oh, when they were doing the Titan Master Pretender shells,
Mm-hmm.
that's where Landmine, Octopunch, and somebody else was showing up first.
The lizard, right?
Yeah.
Iguanas?
God, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Iguanas.
No, they were the iguanas. Yeah.
Iguanas.
I have
them.
It's the only one I know because Iguanas is a Beast Wars character as well.
Right.
Yeah, I was a big fan.
Yeah.
Still am.
And then there was another one. There's another company I think that was doing kits as well.
Well, Yellow Park also.
Oh yeah, Yellow Park had announced a bunch of more kits.
Yeah,
Yellow Park's a weird one because Yellow Park is more like an almost completely assembled action figure that they just force you to finish.
I mean, what
it's like we
Yellow
got
Park
this far, you can do the rest.
What Yellow Park
Exactly.
reminds me of is Gundam. Like, here's the skeleton, just put the armor on. That's what I've noticed.
It's not even that much. Like like the kits that I put together was really just, it was like 10 to 20 minutes of just putting on a few superfluous pieces to make it feel like you're building a model kit. I personally would rather just buy a fully assembled figure, to be honest, because I feel like there are.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like there are sections that the completed figure actually suffers because it's made to be put together.
Right.
Well, they're selling you a Build-A-Figure. Literally, it's like if you went to McFarlane and bought all of his figures to make whatever character, and then you assemble them. It's just you're buying a Build-A-Figure in a box, and you just put all the pieces together. I think they look great. You know, I have several of them that's going to be going on my shelf.
Oh yeah, they look good for sure.
Yeah, you know, and I've heard that the new ones that are all plastic versus the metal actually look better because of the paint on the plastic is more vibrant than what they can get on the metal pieces. One thing about all this stuff, and I'm going to ask y'all's opinion. There's a lot of discourse about Transformers that don't transform. And it's like, I get it, but one, we've had Action Masters. This is not something that's brand new. This is not something that's like, oh, it's brand new. It's a shock. We've got Action Masters. Well, it's not a thing anymore. And since most, probably, I would say 90 to 95% of collectors leave their figures in robot mode. So if the transformation is not important to you, and like I said earlier, character representation and looks is, and you can buy a super high quality looking figure for around the same price and not worry about the transformation and get more posability, why is that a problem?
Yeah,
I think there's I would imagine that it's becoming more prevalent now because there's becoming more crossover, I believe, with sort of the Transformers fandom and the anime fandoms, you know. Because there has been, and there's still widely a doesn't transform, not interested mindset to the Transformers fandom. Yeah, I get it too, but I mean, those back there, even despite they all have the potential to transform, I'm never going to transform. They are statues. They are effectively statues at this point. And I think a lot of people are becoming more okay with that, especially if you're coming from like an anime. And some of my, the ways I look at some of this is from being an anime fan as well, where, I even at one time was like, if the figure doesn't have articulation, I'm not going to buy it. And then I started buying scale figures, which are just completely non-articulated figurines, right? Mm-hmm. And I started getting to, it started to change my mind on some of that stuff. So I think that's kind of where that sort of blurring of the lines between different fandoms is kind of where this rise of model kits is coming from.
Now, I want to ask y'all's opinion on this, see what y'all think. For several years, I've been saying on RFC that as home printing gets to be more advanced, more affordable, we're going to start seeing companies not selling us toys, selling us the files to make our own toys. Now, again, I know there's a lot of legality and a lot of logistics involved in that. It's like, when I first thought of this, it was like, you remember how they would make DVDs that would stop playing after like 3 or 4 times or something like that? I don't know how well the technology worked. I know they did. They built in obsolescence to that. But do you think
It would just explode inside your DVD player.
I guess. But do you think? I mean, we're nowhere near close to that. 3D printing is not at that level where you can make figures. But if you look at like the Joe Classified third-party market, they're making and printing entire tanks, hovercrafts. They're expensive, but they
Well,
are.
I think right now it's less that you can't. It's more that it's still very daunting. Because if you've ever seen the byproduct of a 3D printed object, there's a lot of stuff you have to kind of remove and
you got to fine tune it.
I mean, I can kind of,
which is
really
pretty daunting. Yeah, I know you can talk to it. But I think it's just daunting. I think it's daunting like model kits are daunting. But I think in the future it's not always going to be as daunting.
But do you think this rise of the model kits is a step towards what I'm seeing down the road?
I think it could be. I just don't. They would have to. I would think, like your four plays DVDs. They would have to find a way that would limit how many you can make with a print, with a file, right, with a CAD file or whatever. And that would probably be pretty hard to do. Because you could buy it and then mass produce whatever you bought for all your friends, right?
Yeah. So
well, in a sense, you can, because lo and behold, you guys know. I don't know if you guys knew, but I'm actually working with a buddy of mine. I'm actually designing my own toy line. We're creating our own toys, and we're doing it through 3D printing. We're doing like expansion kits, stuff like that, even for, just a little heads up, little thing here for Devastator, the new one that we're making. We're already in the process of making and prototyping stuff like this. And yes, when you first print an item, I've got one of my prototypes right here currently. He's printed with 3D. But the thing is when we first print them, we don't do them in the highest quality because we want to make sure the thing works before crazy into dialing in how well they look. But when it comes to getting files offline, there are a lot of free ones out there, but there are ones you have to buy. It all depends on the quality of the printer you have. It all depends on the material you're using. All these factors go into this. Like the average person that is just going to own a 3D printer in the corner of their house to be able to print this stuff, most people aren't really going to be doing that because it really requires ventilation. It requires a way to dispose of the waste products, stuff like that. If you have animals, particularly if you have a resin printer, it's bad juju to have cats because cats are drawn to the smell that the chemicals give off for the resin. They will try to eat it. So there are certain things I don't think everybody's going to have in their their space to be able to do this. Like 3D printing stuff is different than buying a full-on injection mold kit because the process is completely different.
Not to mention when it comes out wrong, who do you have to complain to?
Exactly.
Come on, you have to have customer service. You guys have to gripe at somebody. Right. Come on.
It didn't come out right. I'm gonna get mad at the guy that sold me the file. No, actually,
you're figuring it out.
Dial it in right, and that's why it didn't come out right.
You're figuring it out right now so that 200 years from now they can print cheeseburgers. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's crazy.
Right, tastes the same.
It's gonna be this is just step one to replicators.
Right. I mean, to be honest, like I said, I myself getting into this 3D printing and 3D printing design, it's fun. I am like addicted to this. This is like crack. And it's cool because I can basically make anything you really want. The question is, does it actually work in a 3D? Still, does it actually work in a physical space? Like
Mike, wait a minute. You were talking about food and all that. I can just see some guy down in his basement going, "Mom, I said no ketchup. It was on the file." Oh.
I mean, that's basically what it is. They're replicators. I mean,
yeah.
But
hey, for someone like me,
I think it's cool though.
For someone like me that's an idiot, is 3D printing like paper printing? And the fact is, the higher the resolution, the more material it takes to make it better. Like, if you're printing out a low resolution 300, the equivalent of 300 DPI, and you need it to look like 600 DPI, is that something that you can print at a higher quality, or is it based on the materials that you're using?
It's both. It's both.
Okay.
Sometimes it depends on which printer head you're using too. Some printer head extractors give out like a smaller amount, so they're able to do more finer detail with that. But if you're
does that make them slower?
Yes, it does. It makes it go slower. That's the other thing a lot of people don't understand. It's like, oh, I'm going to print off my old Fortress Maximus. So you're going to take a week to print this thing, right? People don't understand how long it takes. Like when I had just these two figures here printed, these were both printed on the same system. These two here, printed by themselves, took an hour and a half. Just these. And that's the thing. People don't understand. It takes time. And it's fun to print, but then whenever you get them, you have to pull the basically the trees off of them and such. But when you're trying to make it
that's
work,
the daunting part.
But I mean, it's sometimes it's a pain, sometimes it's not. I've had some of the stuff come off. Another big guy that I'm working on. This is my own design of a Sky Gary. I'm actually doing my own version of Sky Gary that's smaller. It's not going to be huge. But some of the parts on it peeled right off just fine. One thing I found out is I don't need this chasm to be completely like empty. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do half. Because trying to get the trees out of the bottom of this is not the easiest thing to do. I literally have different size pliers that I use. I have these really long ones. These wouldn't even go all the way down in it. I actually had to get one of my other longer screwdrivers to get down there in order to pop them loose. People don't understand. It does take some strength. It does take some time to do this. This isn't somebody that, you know, is just going to randomly, oh, I'm just going to print off whatever and it's going to look perfect. That is kind of a, I say that.
There was one thing I was thinking of, and correct me if I'm wrong, because a buddy of mine, his son does this stuff. And I was talking to him about just to get a little idea of what it entails and everything. And I said, you know, I just don't like that when you get a product like that, you can see the lines and all that from where it's printed. And he said, well, all you have to do is get hot water and just smooth it, and it will smooth it over. And I was like, oh, okay. Because, and also if you get like stress marks or something is not right, hot water puts it right back to the way it was.
Yeah.
So they, you know, and at that aspect, there's some good things to it, you know, to where, you know, you're messing with it, doing whatever, and it bends or you get a stress mark, you can fix it. So, I mean, there's good and bad. And then, because I was all worried, because the first 3D printed stuff I ever came across was garage kits, and they were very brittle.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. The type of plastic that you can get now is super strong.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and depending on how you make it, it also has to do with how hot the printer is and how long it takes. So sometimes the slower one, whatever it is, will be stronger than one that takes less time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to do with how thick it is. It has to do with the material and how hard you want it to be.
I mean, that's the thing. Like this thing, it hurts my hand when I do this. Like this stuff is solid. Like if you wanted to hurt somebody with this, you could. I'm just saying, like comparing this.
You're looking at the Ultra Magnus brick, and
yeah,
you could hurt someone with it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point. The point is, when it comes to the 3D printed parts, they are sturdy now. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like when this stuff first started, this stuff was very, very brittle when they first started doing the 3D printing stuff. Back then, you actually had to buy a whole kit to put the printer together. It was a whole ordeal. I didn't even want to touch
and when they first came out, they weren't colored either.
No. That was
They
always
were all
just one
white.
color. And that's the other thing.
So that's why,
This
if
stuff's
you remember
white for
the
a
very
reason.
first recast
Prototype.
repos that came out, you could tell that they were fake because if you broke them in half, they were white.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like that anymore.
No. No,
I mean, I think moving from look at non-F. Non-F has become a major player in the aftermarket because Hasbro has to budget stuff out sometimes, whether it's stuff that we think needs to be there, and maybe it does, but they have to look at it from this thing costs half a cent per figure to add, but we're making 1 million figures. Do we need this? And sometimes the stuff gets dropped. So companies like Non-F have majorly moved in and made Non-F DNA designs. Several, we've come a long way from Unicron.com. They were the first. Props to them for being the OG.
I remember that.
Yep.
But sometimes these kits are more than the figure they're for, which really makes it like, I like this figure. It's like the Transformers animated Motor Master from the animated Optimus Prime mold. I think DNA is doing a kit that makes him very Minosaur. Mm-hmm. More like because if you remember the BotCon animated Stunticon set, there was rumors that there was a company going to try to make parts to combine those Stunticons into animated Minosaur. Turned out to be vaporware. Nothing ever got past, I think, like concept art or something. But now that they can do that and at least give Motor Master a silhouette of being Minosaur. But the kit is $65. I've seen that Motor Master for as low as $17 at some websites. Mm-hmm. You're paying 3 times, even at regular retail of $25, you're paying over double the retail of the figure. So the stuff is great. Is it worth it? And that's kind of the thing that I haven't bought. I bought a couple of non-F kits, like when we got Leadfoot. Mm-hmm. I bought the kit that gives him the rotor force. I bought for Mirage. I got the shoulder launcher and stuff because they were $5, $6, $7, $8. I have a few of the bigger DNA kits, like the one that improves Volcanicus and the one that improves Dino King. I've got those kits because that really does help. And my Dino King I got on sale, so I was able to just sort of justify it that way.
Well, one of the things is that it's all in how you look at it. Like the DNA kits that came for like Scorponok. Okay, there were 3 kits, and they were like $50 each. So to get the complete thing, $150. The toy was what, $80?
Oh,
it was $80.
The
Titan. Was under.
No, it was a Titan. So it was originally $149, and then it went to $179 on the reissue, I believe.
Okay, so you get $150 plus another $150 to make your toy. But the neat thing about that is they knew that was going to be expensive, so they broke it up into 3 sets. So if you wanted the upgraded, the shins and feet or whatever, you could do that. If you wanted this or if you wanted that, so you didn't have to buy them all. But ultimately, yeah, it's more expensive. But I also look at the process that's been done, the progress that's been done. Whereas 3D printing was very expensive and it's getting cheaper. and it will continue to get cheaper. So I think that those kits are going to be more advanced and cost less over time.
Well, the thing about that is, for this new Devastator, they're doing there's been 2 kits released so far. One for Bone Crusher and Scavenger, because they were the first 2 out. There's another kit for Hook and Long Haul. And then I'm probably going to be a 3rd kit for Scavenger and Mixed Master, since that's how they're being released. And these kits are like $35 to $50 a piece, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, you're already spending at regular retail, not counting sales or Dononomics, $210 to $220 for this Devastator. And then you've got at least another $100 for these kits. And they might do a all-in-one kit like they did for the Scorponok. That would be slightly cheaper than buying the 3 kits individually. But you're paying almost half of what you paid for the Devastator. So it's very, very frustrating to see these kits that do make a figure look better in some cases, but you're paying more for it than you did the figure.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Would you rather have the figure with like 50% of those upgrades at the same price? Well, of course not. But if Hasbro did something like that, that's what it would cost.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because Hasbro cuts those corners that you want them to keep, but you don't want the figure to be that high, expensive-wise. They cut the corners. So then another company comes in to patch up those corners, and then you get upset because it costs more money. Hit me on the front end or hit me on the back end. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, what's the answer? There isn't. Someone's going to be upset. They're always going to be upset.
I imagine most of this upgrade, because I do think it's inevitable that home 3D printing is just going to become more and more commonplace, and I think a lot of those, a lot of the upgrade companies like DNA and stuff like that will eventually succumb to 3D printing being a more commonplace and cheaper alternative. It's just not there yet.
No, but it's getting there.
Yeah, I think it'll get there pretty fast.
I mean, a lot of it deals with like the process of actually making the items. Not everybody has the money for all the crazy different DPI nozzles to be able to protrude the plastic and stuff like that. Some people don't have the correct curing area. That's another thing a lot of people don't understand is climate control is a big thing dealing with this too. You're not just going to be able to just go do this in your garage in the middle of winter because it's going to cause your printer to probably gum up more because it's too cold. There is a temperature you have to deal with. It's basically a manufacturing process, and I don't think people quite understand that. Like, comparing it to what Hasbro does, because Hasbro does injection molding. They're not going to give us 3D printed toys. It's all injection. And injection requires basically a warehouse to run this machine to be able to put these cubes in there that's, or molds that are basically weigh the same amount as a car in there just to press your 5 to 6 pieces together and shoot them out. People don't understand exactly how much process goes into this. 3D printing is a little easier, but really DNA kits and stuff like that, some of those are actually injection molded. So they do cost more. That's another thing. They're not all 3D printed. So there is a huge difference between that, because I had several upgrade kits back. Everybody remembers, our Chug Classic era stuff. How many items did we get that were injection molded? Like that upgrade, what was it called? The Parallax trailer or something like that was for the Hot Rod. That thing was amazing. All injection molded. Yeah. There was no 3D printing back then. So yeah, it cost so much money for that.
I have all of those. I bought.
Yeah.
I even gave up one of my BotCon, the freebies, to get the Shattered Glass Rodimus trailer, because that was so hard to find. But I can't remember what BotCon it was. But Yeah,
Not anymore.
Yeah, but one thing I was going to ask, burn there. You mentioned about flame toys not being as prolific as they were. Do you think they're slowing down to adjust their focus to be more like these other newer kits? Because it looks like Blockies is eating a lot of people's lunch along the same lines like Jada came in out of nowhere, started doing the Street Fighter figures, and then all of a sudden, after a few months or maybe a year or so, Storm Collectibles switched to that 6-inch because I think Jada was eating their lunch in that $25 price point with because we were getting classified level quality figures at $25 versus Storm's 90, 100, and so in the larger scales. So, do you think that can happen with Flame Toys?
That I don't. I'm not really sure on that. Really, I mean, when it comes to like, I almost think a lot of these companies, after they get to a certain point, it's all about licensing, whether they can get it or not. Really, Blockies, I think the reason why they're knocking it out of the park is because they literally are trying to eat up every license it can. I mean, what other
Well, that and they're getting licensing, because Blocky. I assume the Aldi was also I know Yellow Park is a Chinese company, but licensing in the Chinese market, it seems to be, I don't know,
it doesn't exist.
It seems to be very much looser. Like the only times I've seen like really restrictions with license, like there's Haya Toys makes Godzilla stuff.
God, that stuff. I wish they would do a Hanna-Barbera Godzilla because that stuff looks so much better than Monster Arts.
It's like cheaper. It's cheaper. They definitely target a more like screen accurate market. They're getting a lot better with their articulation, but at the start, their articulation was a lot more like the old NECA Godzilla figures than it is Monster Arts figures. But they're getting there. They're definitely making strides. But I think the only limitation that Haya has with their license there is they are not allowed to sell, like they don't sell Haya Godzilla in China or in Japan. So it doesn't directly compete with Bandai, but it's like Blocky is just grabbing up every IP.
No,
but it seems like there's several companies grabbing it because Yellow Park has started making Blocky competitors, and then we have this new company coming out of the woodwork that's making, it looks like, competitors with Yellow Park and Blocky. And then even in some ways, Flame Toys, being it's a Japanese brand, I mean, they're still kicking. They showed it's a very Gundam style figure, but they showed a transforming Starscream that transforms like those transformable Gundams. It seems, and so they're still kicking around too. But yeah, they're like it's just a sudden explosion in that market that really kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. But like, I think Blocky really, put the rubber to the road and kicked off a lot of that.
like everyone's like, "Oh my god,
Yellow Park."
It's like everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this stuff is selling like crazy. We have nothing to compete against it."
Well, a lot of it's price point. Price point is what is the big seller for Blockies. They keep the price points so low, it's easy for everybody to get them. And the entry fee is basically nothing compared to, oh, I want to get into Gundam. Oh wait, the cheapest Gundam's what, $15, $16, and you have to cut all those parts off. You have to glue them on. Oh, you got decals. Oh, you have stickers. It's not like it was like years ago when we had Kabaya kits. Like Kabaya, I personally absolutely ate that stuff up, and I would love to see that aesthetic come back. But Blockies is doing pretty much what Kabaya did, except for not throwing in a piece of chewing gum.
Some bland, tasteless piece of chewing gum.
Hey,
What the flavor was?
Yeah,
The flavor was sugar for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Hey, it was like the zebra stripe gum. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, dude.
How the heck did we get into gum and sweets when I leave?
well, because Blockies is they're sort of targeting, it's very similar to the Japanese gum toy market.
You do
yeah.
You do not disparage the legacy of Fruit Stripe. I don't care if it lasted for 2 seconds. It was the best gum ever made.
It was the best 2 seconds of your life.
Oh, look.
Yeah,
look.
yeah. See, that one is that right there is definitely in the targeting of that right there is to go into the same section of a store that has Gunpla and Zoids model kits and stuff like that, right? Yeah, and it looks like that. It looks like that Aldi brand that's coming out. They seem to be targeting a more like accurate to the character models model kits. I don't know if any of you guys saw those. They had like a Grimlock. They had 2 forms of Grimlock. They actually had his robot mode and then the T-Rex. But it looks very much like it's targeting like an actual cartoon and screen accurate sort of set line of model kits.
Yeah, I'm personally always been a fan of model kits. I like them. They're fun. I don't know.
Maybe Kabaya will make a comeback with this resurgence.
I would absolutely.
That's my favorite.
Kabaya to just say, look, we're just going to go through and start. I mean, I know some people don't like reissues, but come on. You can't tell me they don't still have the molds for this stuff. Just reissue the old stuff. Everybody would buy it like that. They just would.
Well, 2 things real quick. One, first of all, as far as building stuff, Legos is number 1. I'm sorry, to me. And then the second thing is Kabaya kits. And they came out really big in the 90s and early 2000. And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, I bought multiples of every one of them. I loved them. I just love putting them together.
Transformers have just never had a super strong foothold.
I don't understand it.
And
yeah. The only thing that sucked about those is the stupid stickers. Those stickers stink. The toy, awesome. Stickers,
like gum toys are still a very common thing in Japan. It's just.
Well, what would you guys think if Kabaya did this, but they did what Blockies does with the tampoing?
I would love the tampoing.
I would eat that up if these things had a tampoing.
Absolutely. I just don't understand why they got rid of the line. They haven't come out with any.
They're amazing.
They did well. I mean, look at the Fort Max they did, the 3-box Fort Max. That thing's amazing.
And it came with Powerglide and Wind Charger.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the fact that if you ever wanted to be able to display Fort Max in all 3 modes, aside from having, 6 feet of space or whatever, and, so many hundreds of dollars to do it, this you could with Kabaya kits. And it looked good. I liked it. I don't understand what happened with that. That whole concept. They just stopped doing it.
Yeah, I don't
know. Maybe I was the only one buying them. Who knows?
No, I know you weren't, because I was too. I know quite a few of us were.
They probably had a hard time getting shelf space. Like every Japanese store is, space is at a premium.
Yeah, but I mean, all these I got
gum toys are, yeah. Because gum toys are still super popular in Japan. Like I've gotten boxes of Ultraman gum toys, and stuff like that. And like I said, maybe Blocky will sort of encourage a resurgence. We just have to see.
Did you ever get any Kabaya?
I do know some of the stuff
Don?
that they were talking about with blockies, and I don't really understand it. All I can tell you is that there's a lot more stuff coming out. They started rambling off properties, which you guys were talking about it and everything. There's just so much. They're just doing so much. That yeah, I mean, your niche figures, your crazy figures you never thought you'd get. You're probably going to get it. And then with Hasbro even dipping in and doing some of the rare figures like the 13 primes, who thought that we would get all those? And here they are. So
so are they going to do the DJD?
I think that
that's the question.
No matter what, I'm just saying with all the different companies out there, they see that you want it, they're going to make it.
I made the joke. I made the joke that soon you'll be able to ask, does Blocky make it? And the answer will be yes.
I just hope that Blocky, and I kind of hope all this doesn't do what Funko Pops did, where they just grabbed all this stuff, everybody went nuts, and then all of a sudden it was worth nothing and nobody can get rid of it. I don't want that to happen.
Let me say one thing, okay? And this
Funko's still kicking,
this
though.
Is for me. This is for me coming from the Beanie Baby phase, sitting through that, and I was never a part of it. My wife was, and then the Funko Pops. The wife started getting into those, and I'm just like, man, these things are dumb. They're going to go the way of the Beanie
Don't
Babies.
tell her about Labubu's. You better hide.
She doesn't know. Be quiet. And then these little blockies came up. And I said, man, these things are just like Funko Pops. No one's going to care. They don't transform nothing. They came out with Devastator, and I got hooked. Do I think these are going to go up in value? 100% no.
Yeah, they'll be worthless in the future.
Well, they'll be rare ones, like the Chase version.
Like this one, there's a Chase figure, maybe. All right, but who cares? I'm only getting them because I like them. This is not.
It's the blind bag figure, and
they're neat. That's it.
The blind box fad comes back around like every 5 years,
and I love it. I love that. Yeah. Did I get it or did I? Well, I'm going to get you one every set. Okay, I don't want you to open them. Why? The fun is the opening, the anticipation of which one you're going to get. That's what you love. At least for me.
I mean, I get it. I get it to an extent because I like trading card games. So I don't. It's not that I don't entirely understand it, but when it comes to figurines, I just want to get what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, and I did Gachapon was fun in Japan. But
I think their blind bag's a neat idea. It's great and all that. Okay, but Blocky putting stupid different cards in each box. Okay, that's too much. That's too much. All right.
The old box top.
Find all these. So there's a limit for me. That's too much.
I mean,
that's my rant.
Yeah, that's that. Hey, rants are fine. That's what we like around here. We like to hear everybody's actual opinion on this stuff. So, Don, did you ever get?
I don't know. No one's commenting. No one's saying anything. Yeah, I'm trying to spiel out here, and no one's doing anything.
Don, did you ever get Kabaya kits?
At a BotCon or TFCon, I got the Fortress Maximus that was already put together. It was just put together in the individual boxes and I had to assemble it. Other than that, I've never, again, it being a model kit, something that I've always found daunting. No, I've seen them. I've heard about them for years. I've just, it just never really interests me. It's like, oh, that's neat, but just never was an important thing.
Completely understand that. Yeah, I think this building phase of things is kind of cool. I really can't wait to see what people are going to do here in the future. I mean, if they're going to do, if Blockies is doing Devastator, they're going to do Vertigus. Everybody knows it's probably going to be Superion next, or Defensor, because they're probably going to bounce from, okay, we do 2 Autobots after we do 2 Decepticons, they'll probably bounce back and forth there. But
I was shocked they didn't do an Autobot next, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would imagine that there is a popularity aspect, and then we have to I don't know about you guys. I really don't have much of insight and view into especially the Chinese Transformers market, but
what's popular there?
Yeah, because I assume that plays a big influence on that.
I mean, it's
probably
worldwide sales though.
Yeah. Well, it's probably It's probably Devastator makes sense because he's Devastator.
He was the first,
right?
He was the first.
I wouldn't be surprised if Superion would be next, but Verticus. I always felt like Verticus is probably, if you're talking about the first 3, Superion probably falls last in that set of.
I wouldn't even put him in the top 6, honestly. He's very, very poor.
And I was really that's why I gave him bottom of the 3 just in the those first 3 combiners that were kind of big. When you start throwing in all the other combiners, Superion finds its way down towards the bottom real fast.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, we did get a Combaticon.
And there's 2 more in the next wave.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden you saw a Jet. And then that means if you want to complete both of them, you got to get the next 6 series. And it's all jumbled to get you to buy more. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, to me, if I was marketing, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to make them. They have to go this long to complete it. But the problem is that, and that's one of the things that a lot of people liked about Devastator. All right. I didn't have to wait 6 months to a year for you to do all 6 Devastator pieces. We got it done basically over the summer. Done. That was nice. They haven't always done that. If you remember, sometimes it would take a long time for you to complete this set. So there's gives or takes with it. But marketing wise, yeah, it makes sense to spread it out to get you to buy more.
Well, I mean, I know they recolor a lot of them. That's something I noticed, like the Shattered Glass stuff, to kind of bring it, longevity of some of the molds. But I'm sitting there thinking, how long is it going to be before we see a Predaking in that style?
I would like to see a Predaking.
That would be interesting.
I'm sure. Well, I mean,
and then the funny thing is the Chase. That's a Chase figure. It's just a chrome vacuumized regular Prime. But then they have the Ultra one, and it's the same figure, only they add stuff to it. So reusing molds and everything, they've done it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm sitting there.
Bumblebee mold is 3 different ones of those now. There's a yellow one. There's a Shattered Glass one, and then there's a clear one or a gold, and
I mean, I think it's cool if they're doing that. I kind of hope they'll maybe, because I mean, from what I heard, they're, since they're doing Shattered Glass, I'm like, okay, why not dip into Generation 2? That's easy. Because didn't they do Sideswipe already?
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm like, where's my black one? Yeah. I mean,
that's
they did Prime.
They did Shattered Glass Prime, Ironhide, Bumblebee, Prime, and Sideswipe already.
Shattered Glass is so strangely popular in Asia.
Yeah,
it's very surprising.
I am going to be very, very surprised if they skip out on G2, because that.
I mean, I think
a given.
mold reuse will
Like, what else are you gonna do with
come around
Devastator
eventually.
now? Gonna make him yellow.
Yeah.
Please do an orange.
They'll make it. They'll release him yellow, and then the chase version of them will be orange.
Dude.
I'd be okay with that.
That or
I'd be
it'd be
okay
the
with it.
Diaclone colored one, which would still be cool.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much Diaclone would have relevance in China, but it's always a possibility, you know.
I mean, considering the colors on him is pretty crazy. But yeah, is there
I'm not
any
sure how
other-
much. I assume that they probably got Diaclone in China. They're so close to Japan, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of the knockoff stuff that was it like Chronoform or something like that? Brett, do you remember the kind of knockoffy Diaclone sets that they had? It wasn't called Diaclone. It was called Diacron.
You're talking about, well, they had
Weren't those-
Diachrone.
Yeah, weren't those
Diacron.
actually? Those were Chinese versions, weren't they?
Mm-mm.
They weren't. There was actually Japanese as well. Where
No,
were
they were
from?
just it was the Diaclone market moving into the Europe and
Okay, so they
US,
just changed the
and they
name.
could put, so they could put U.S. writing on it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was just like a name change or if it was like some knockoff company that was doing that as well.
No,
Or
because
not.
like the Chinese company, it just depends on what was made. Because just like what was it, Leo Kaiser? We were talking about this a week or so ago. Leo Kaiser was made in both Japan and China, and the one in China doesn't have gold plastic syndrome. Just as old,
Mhm.
but will not break and crumble. So
They
they
didn't-
but
they
they were
used
made
to-
in different factories.
Yeah, they used a different mixing process, I think, or just a different type of plastic in general for kill bison.
Yeah, whatever they did, it didn't create those swirls, microfractures, and break.
Mhm. Which, what happened to G2 Slingshot? Why didn't that not happen to him or Electro?
Because they never made one in China. Simple as that. They never made one in China.
It's just sad. It's just sad. I just hope GPS doesn't affect any of these newer blocky figures and stuff because of the, aren't most of them just straight painted gold? There's nothing that's actually gold on them or like a brown plastic or anything like that.
No,
It's
it's
so hard
molded,
these days.
molded in gold.
Hmm.
Like the chest piece to him, he's
Yeah.
gold.
So I'm
But
just wondering
it's
if we're
not like
having that problem or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I would hope they figured it out by now how to do it. You know?
You would hope, but they went and basically reproduced the same problem in Beast Wars Megatron's crotch,
the other thing
right?
is, just remember back in the 80s and 90s when they were making these figures to just be toys, not be collectibles. If you think they're not still doing that, you're crazy. They don't care.
No,
They don't care if this is going to last 100 years or whatever. They just want to sell it.
That's true. Because, I mean, I know, like, with Hasbro, with, like, some of the toys that's come out, things are yellowing, or it's blue.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's white.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I was shocked how quickly some of that stuff turned.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, today I was at the shop going through tons of boxes of Transformers to put some out on the shelf, and there was a Thundercracker in there. It was one of the Earthrise ones. Starting to yellow already. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, these toys aren't even like what? How old is that Thundercracker? Like a year and a half, 2 years old, something like that. But
Which
I'm like,
one? The
Earthrise.
Earthrise? Yeah, 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, 2 or
years
3
old?
years old, and this sucker was like yellowed, like worse than I have ever seen. Like the blue was turning green, and I'm like,
Yeah. It seems to be really
how?
inconsistent too.
Like, it really kind of boggles my brain when I'm like, I got a toy over here. I mean, I've got
There's a chemical
KO
composition
over
in it
here.
that's just,
I mean,
there's some chemical composition that they've changed that is making the figures just because it seems so random because one person will have a perfectly good one, and then other people theirs were yellow in 2 months after they opened it. right?
I think that's a reason why, like,
it
when
really
I was
just,
looking at the Jaxus that come out, because he's white, and I'm like, I'll be honest
I
with
heard
you,
the plastic
it
on
should
that
have
one
been
is
silver.
terrible.
They shouldn't have made him white. I don't know why everybody thinks he's white.
I've
I
heard
think he's
people
silver.
refer
But
to it as the shampoo bottle plastic.
yeah, I'm just
I
like,
don't know. I heard about what was it, Cyclonus? That was the first one I heard.
mhm.
That gray was
Yeah.
turning like yellowish and everything. And I'm like, that's not that old. People
No.
were saying
No.
it was doing it pretty quickly. So I'm wondering if it's not, heck, secretions on your hand that's causing it.
I
Who
don't know
knows?
if it's
I mean,
that. I honestly, sometimes I think it may be because if they're, if the plastics themselves are being made cheaper, that's possibly that, or it could be the release compound they're using on them too. Because you got to think these things are injection molded.
Mhm.
They don't just like fall out. They have to have like a type of like release agent put on the mold in order to let them pop
Well,
loose.
then
So
that stands the reason the next phase is are these things going to just discolor or are they going to start deteriorating? Are they made so cheaply now that they're just going to fall apart?
yeah, I mean that's my question with a lot of this stuff that's more modern. And it's like with like we were talking about like with 3D printing, you don't have to worry about the yellowing because it's literally the quality of the film that you're using. There's no release agent; it just prints it. With injection molding, it's completely different. And sometimes I think injection molding chemicals can actually attack the plastic over time, I guess, because it soaks into it like a sponge. So I
So,
wouldn't be
so
surprised if that's causing part of it.
so you might have these figures sitting here that you got all these DNA kits and everything, and the DNA parts are doing just fine, and the rest of the figures just crumbling, and who knows?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really kind of like the fear if you think about it. Like you guys out there that are buying these upgrade kits and stuff like that, think about that. The rigidity of some of those plastic parts that are being 3D printed and stuff may actually be stronger than the injection molded stuff. So it could cause possible breakage on your figure over time, just because the stability of the plastic is completely different. So that is something to keep in mind. That's like what I say about people with blast effects. Don't leave them on your figures. They will melt. They will actually attach themselves to the gun.
Hang on, let me take some of those off. Oh,
Yeah. Like the people that do that. Like I love the blast effects. They're great for photography. Put them away in a bin somewhere. Don't let them sit on your figures because they will destroy them. They just will over time.
Dag on it, Jason. Now I got to move that figure.
Well,
I'm
and
sorry.
at the end of the day, you do also kind of got to remember. And I've talked to I've talked to younger collectors about these sorts of things, and different like soft vinyl stuff. I've had they've complained like why do they make this so cheap this way? And it's like because as far as the toy maker is concerned, this is a future landfill. It's going to be in a landfill.
It's a tomorrow problem.
They're not making it to like none of the Beast Wars. I mean, they were made better, but none of those Beast Wars figures back there were made to last 27 years. And it's just something that always take in consideration. And I think now more than ever, despite the fact that I do think they've made a larger, switch to focusing on collector-oriented stuff, they've not made a larger switch to long-lasting products.
They're not in the business of making long-lasting toys. This
I mean-
isn't the everlasting gobstopper here.
I mean, here's a question. Back when you had the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron figures that came out, and they had to cheapen out because of the oil situation, do you guys feel like when that happened, it really affected the quality of everything since then? plastic wise.
There was a resurgence. I don't think that had as long of an effect on as it it seems.
I think once they were forced to have to look at balancing their costs versus retail options, they got a better understanding of how much they can stretch making something more hollow and lighter
Cheaper.
versus that line in which the customers there's a saying in retail, there's a saying in business called JND, just noticeable difference, which generally says that you can change a product up to 10% before people start noticing a difference. Candy bars is the example they've always given, that you can drop a quarter of an ounce, a half an ounce, whatever the case may be, and most people won't notice it, that they're getting less for the same money.
And most people won't notice the 11-inch foot-long sub.
But I think when they had to start looking at, since they couldn't just jack the prices up and make things the way they had been doing, when they looked at cutting costs and we got the era of a lot of hollowness. Yes, it's gotten better since then. I'm just saying we got a lot of hollow figures, a lot of parts. That's when you saw the rise of these third-party companies doing these gap filler kits and stuff like that. But I think it did show them where they can cut and get away with it versus that line in which, okay, we can skirt this line, but if we go over, we're going to get a lot of flack on this because they're paying for a very hollow toy, which will make us look very bad.
Yeah, but as I just said before, you can't win that argument.
No.
Because
Right.
if you make a figure at this price point that people will be happy with, then they're going to complain about the gaps or the quality or whatever. If you make it a more sturdy, full figure and it costs $50 more, then you got other people griping about the price. So someone's going to gripe no matter what.
Right. I mean,
It's just the way it is.
My biggest gripe though is with a lot of the modern plastic, the way I've seen things happening recently with all the yellowing and such. There's been no answer. Nobody has come out of Hasbro saying, "Oh, well, this is why." They're just staying silent, and I think that's even worse, especially for the consumer, because it's like the quality issues we had with the RID Optimus being broken straight from the factory, you know, and then finding out that some people's Ultra Magnus was already yellowing. Like, give me a break.
Right.
No, these are high dollar, expensive items. They should have quality materials.
Right, but like when I was saying, which would you rather, pay $50 more to have this thing? That's talking about the design and all that, okay, about being good. As far as quality, about them changing, turning colors, breakage, that's unacceptable at any level. If you're putting out a product, it should be a good product, period. I don't care what the price point is. I mean, if I have an Optimus Prime full of gaps and no joints, but it's a sturdy figure and I pay a price point, that's one thing. If it's breaking and everything, then that's wrong.
It's also perception of what you feel you should be getting for paying that money as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with that all the time.
I mean,
the only way that
my buying practice is set back in 1990s to 2000 prices. I usually don't get what I want. So,
no, I agree with you on that.
The only lines that I collect that I feel like
I'm
getting my money's worth is, Transformers for the most part. But when you have stuff like 86 Bumblebee, Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, in that deluxe price point. And then you get other deluxe price point figures that are substantially more figure. That's when you realize it's a price point, not a size. So there's that. But overall, like this right here, Joe Classified, I think I get a solid product pretty much all the time. There may be some limitations here or there, but
let me ask you something. Do you take your Joes out and display them, or you leave them in the box?
I will when I get the basement to the point where I can start opening. Right now, most everything is still in the box just because
Okay.
downstairs man cave is not
The
done.
point getting to it, because you were talking about the quality of those and what you get and all that. You do know that those joints are extremely tight.
Yeah, I mean, I have opened a couple like Cobra Troopers to put
Have
in
you
my
had to
snake
do the hot
armors.
water thing yet?
No, not really. I mean, but
Yeah.
again, I don't do a lot of the. I'm not a diorama person.
Well, that's not
I'll
beside
have
the point.
the-
What my point being on this is that
Yeah.
the quality, you shouldn't have to do that.
Right. But I feel like the ones I have opened, which is not many, but the ones I have opened, I feel like they're a very solid figure.
They are.
Overall.
They are. But I can tell you right now that if you try and move those wrists at all, you have a very good chance of breaking them. They come out of the box very tight. That's what I've found. So for me, before I even mess with them, I dip the hands in when I was collecting them in hot water to loosen them up before I would pose them and everything. And you're like, oh yeah, it's an easy fix or whatever. You shouldn't have to do that.
No.
So you're saying if you're in Florida, just set it out in the sun for a little bit.
Yeah.
You would probably have a melting mess.
Yeah. Well, now, one of the thing, Megamus, is that you are totally right. I totally agree. No qualms about that. But one thing about it is you have to look at when these figures were made, how they were shipped from the manufacturer to a distribution center, how long do they sit in a warehouse. So there's going to be some environmental concerns that may be causing problems. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm just saying this may not always be a manufacturing thing. There could be some environmental issues in there as well, just as a side note.
And you don't think that when they design these figures, they wouldn't take that into account?
They can, but you still got some places that are extremely hot, extremely humid, extremely cold.
Well,
They're sitting in warehouses for weeks and months at a time. I'm just saying, I don't
get what
think
you're coming from.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
here's
I
the
just
thing.
think
I'm going to flip it on the other side. All right. Yes, I had to dip the hands and do this because they were too tight. Well, I got mine and they were floppy. Oh, okay. Well, here we go again. One or the other. How do you make them happy?
You just
I don't know.
You
make
put
the
a glob
best.
of
You make
super glue in there.
Yeah.
You make
Don't
the best.
You
You make the
use
best.
super glue. Oh.
Yeah.
People say use super glue. Super glue is the worst thing to use. Tell you why. Environmental change. You're talking about hot and cold. Yeah, Megamus is holding up the right thing there. Use clear.
They
nail
actually.
polish.
There's a product made for tightening joints now.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Is it
Funny thing is, it's got the same ingredients as floor polish.
Yeah. Yeah. Shock oil is to get something to move that doesn't move.
I've heard of that, or floor wax. One of those is fine for making joints be
But the funny thing is, he's talking about there's actually a product out there for figures. It's called plastic something or whatever, but the ingredients are the same as floor polish. They just labeled it different.
Like, seriously, if you guys have used super glue in the past, stop using it, because if the environmental change happens, say it gets too hot or too cold, it will literally fuse that joint and you'll never get it loose. It literally will. Always use
I've had a lot of
fingernail polish.
I've had a lot of luck with this. I've used this since the beginning and I've never had any problems. And this is just clear nail polish.
Yeah, I've done that. The other fix I've done, and this was to some of my vintage Star Wars figures, particular C-3PO. plumber's tape. You can use that to be able to push down into the joints in order to make the joints tighter. You don't even see it. It's in there to make the joints tight enough so that way you can actually hold a position. There's nothing wrong with that. It does work, and it won't hurt the figure.
The problem with that is that over time it actually makes the joint bigger. So then you need more tape.
Yeah.
But then again, is this doing the same thing? Probably.
Possibly, but like longevity of toys, little tiny things like this to kind of help people out. Just do not use super glue. Don't use it. I had a figure one time.
Unless you want a statue.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I had bought a, I forget which one it was. It was one of the, I know it came out during Revenge of the Fallen. It was one of the motorcycle guys. He's kind of like a brown, like the brownish, tannish colored one. But anyway, when I bought it, I had no idea somebody actually used super glue on the joints. And I was like, okay, what the heck is this? Like, kind of like, it was rigid. I was like, really like hard to move. And I said, what the heck's going on with this? I went to pull it off. It was literally a residue portion of super glue. If I didn't pull it completely off and clean that off, it would have fused it so I can never move that joint again. And that was one of his arm joints, just to transform it. So keep that in mind when you're trying to tighten figures, stuff like that. The whole thing of trying to keep them out of the sunlight, I mean, with this automatic color changing plastic we have now, I don't even think that's even a thing anymore.
No, it's not even a sunlight thing anymore. People have had them in their windowless basements and they've been yellowing.
Yeah.
The product it's called Kiki Fix is the joint stuff. It's I think it's from it's $20 for 30 milliliters. It looks like I think it's Lord knows I don't know what the hell that is. That I can't. That is not. That's not a language I know, but I think it's out of one of the Asian countries. Because it has like a sprue. Like their logo looks like their logo is on a sprue, so it's kind of made for. I think model kits is kind of where I got it started, but they advertise it for working on every. I know a lot of people because Monster Arts. SH Monster Arts, sometimes you get some loose ball joints, and a lot of people have been using that for fixing loose ball joints. But
I mean,
I throw it out there because it's a product I've seen people use.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like accessibility. Here in the States, trying to get something that shipped, not trying to get into.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's where I found it, but
yeah, I mean,
find everything on Amazon.
Yeah, you can. You really can. But I mean, you can also go down to like your local Target or Walmart and buy like a little container of clear nail polish for like $4 and do just as well. So, I guess it just kind of depends.
And don't sell out super glue.
Don't use super glue. And for God's sake, don't use model glue. But yeah, I know some people do stuff to beef up the joints. Don't do that. Just use clear nail polish. You put on enough layers of it, it will stay. And it won't damage the figure. It will literally just flake off over time. But who cares? You're going to pop it off and just put a little bit more on there. It ain't going to hurt nothing. That's just what I see. Like, trying to put glue on there. Because I've seen people do this super glue and then I think they add like baking soda or something like that to thicken up things. That's cool if you're trying to like fix like gaps or something in something, but if you're trying to literally like fix a joint to keep it from falling all the time, don't do that either.
I've seen so many newbies come in and be like, the joint's loose. Should I use super glue? It's like, no, don't do that.
I don't know who started this super glue trend, but like I don't know. Like, Don, you've been around for a while. Who started this super glue trend? Do you even know?
The super glue company.
Someone sadistic.
back in my day, that's how we used to fix everything. That's
It
how we
was
used to
it was
fix
one
things and keep it
guy.
from moving.
It was one guy who thought it was really funny to watch people glue their joints into place.
I just feel bad for the collector out there that has done this for years, and then all of a sudden, temperature change happens, climate changes, and he can't move half of his collection because they're all fused in this pose.
Pulls it down off the shelf and it's just frozen in
Yeah.
its pose because
Goes to
he
try
didn't
to move
realize
one
that at
arm
some
and the
point.
whole thing snaps off because, like, yeah.
Yeah, but then you need more super glue to fix it. See?
Exactly.
So that
break it apart.
the super glue company knew what they were doing.
Yep.
And, well, and then,
like, okay,
and then
do
you know
this.
what they did? And then the super glue companies went and made the applicator made out of plastic. So every time you use it a single
You gotta
time,
clip it.
you have to buy a new super glue.
No, you just clip it. You clip it a little each time.
So you get more and more application every time.
Oh, you know what the one I hate? Have you ever seen the little 6-pack of the one use? They're about this big. There's like a 6-pack of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that one use, yeah, you could use that like 6-7 times, but it dries out like that. So then you have to open up another one and another one.
I mean, one thing I have noticed, like if you're trying to fix a joint that's broken, let's say it's like a post that literally snapped off, the best thing to do, and I've watched this on, there's a guy that does toy repairs on YouTube. Goes by Toy Ploy. I don't know if you guys have watched him before. But what he'll do is take like a piece of paper clip, drill out like a small part of the post and whatever ball joint or whatever it is, and then literally super glue that together with that little metal piece in there, and that will actually help reinforce it better than trying to completely attach it without anything. So I mean, in a way, it kind of builds a built-in reinforcement to fix that, but I don't know how well that would work on a lot of Transformers figures as many times as we transform things and all that wrenching back and forth. I think it works well for like Star Wars figures and stuff, you know, but not for Transformers, I don't think. But I think it kind of just depends on whatever joint it is. But anyway, I think we've rambled about fixing toys and complaining about toys and all that. You guys want to talk about anything else, or we're going to bounce and get out of here and maybe talk about some crazy stuff next week?
I think we did good.
I think we did too.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think we're fun. We're
I think we've built a pretty good case for the model kit industry there.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm really kind of happy with how everything's going. So I'm going to go ahead and have you guys all do your sign-offs, and then we will bounce and get out of here, and everybody have a good afternoon. Evening, whatever it is.
Night, everybody.
If this video gets 50 likes, all 4 of us will assemble a model kit at the same time.
On our next live stream.
If this video gets 51 likes, we won't do the model kit and have y'all watch us for 10 hours doing a model kit that we can't do. So there's that. So I'm Headmaster John. I can be found here Sunday nights at roughly 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, give or take. I can be found on Radio Free Cybertron, the internet's oldest and first Transformers podcast, started in 1999. You can join us in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, and we broadcast at pre-show at 8 o'clock for Patreon members and live at 8:30 on Wednesdays as well. We will be getting our 26th anniversary in about 2 weeks. So we will be having an anniversary show, so tune in for that. I can be found on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR, and on Blue Sky, HMRC, the number 4 EVR.bluesky.social.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. This is Plasticast. We're signing off. Good night, guys.
Right on.
See ya.